All right, good morning traders, and welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to be looking at live order flow with forward-looking analysis, looking at what's going on in the auction process, in the order flow, understanding the supply and the demand, and where price might go next. So that's what we do here, and we can do that because it's order flow. We're not looking at indicators. We're not looking at some sort of derivative of time, price, and volume. We're looking exactly at those elements and understanding the participants' behavior, and that gives us the edge. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so any kind of news events here? Just a second. I know that we have some Pro Trader webinar releases from last week, yeah, hold on a minute. Let me just double check on some of this. I think Dan is going to post it for us here, we had a great, I thought it was, well, we always have a pretty good one. We had a pretty great Bookmap Academy meeting yesterday, and we went through your trades, open up the mic for you to talk. For those of you interested in that, let me show you where you can find it. It is here. You can find it is on our YouTube channel, and just go to YouTube channel in here, Dan, is it live or not? I can't recall actually. We recorded it, but we may not have put it up quite yet. Anyway, regarding the program, if you're interested in this, it's a coaching and mentoring program. Go to bookmap.com, click on the More button, and then go to Bookmap Academy here under Community. All right, this is where you can apply. You can read about the program in here. You'll document your trading activity, and we will give you feedback. That's the coaching and mentoring part. And then for your efforts, if you make the quantitative and qualitative thresholds that we are looking for, then you can be invited to the Bookmap Academy. When you first apply, you're an applicant to the Junior Academy. If your content is showing a lot of promise, and you make some of the thresholds, then we will invite you to the Bookmap Junior Academy. From there, it's every month we look at it and see if you make the thresholds, and you can be invited to the Bookmap Academy. That's where you can get Bookmap for free. You can get the MBO bundle for free if you double your quota. All right, you can become a Bookmap coach and then give feedback to the Junior Academy members. You can become a streamer. This is our farm club for Bookmap. You want to partake in the game here and play and be an educator, influencer. Here's a pathway for you. Or just to become a better trader. It's however far you want to take it. The coaching here, you get data as well as Bookmap for free. And there's other incentives as a Bookmap streamer. All right, so just wanted to talk about that program. Oh boy, as I'm talking about that, we are seeing some really nice movement here in the S&P. We're up at 58.50. We're trading up into high liquidity. Now, this is after kind of a bad consumer sentiment report earlier at 10. And then we had our PPI earlier as well. So we just traded into high liquidity. What are we looking for after the demand hits the supply up here, the liquidity, the sellers up here? Okay, now it actually traded into multiple levels in here, right, of liquidity, of supply. There's one here right after the news. There's some in here, there's one here, and there's one here. Okay, this is the biggest one. and it's up at the big figure here of 58.50. We are looking for a pullback now, right? Especially after trading through multiple levels of high liquidity. Okay, so here, and here, right? We know the transactions took place. We can take a look at them and see the big green dots into them. So we look for, this is where the demand met the supply. And then we want to see what happens after. Right now, you can see what's happening. We're actually getting more demand. So we look for this to continue now. This turns into potentially a beautiful flag pattern, right? This is the flag pattern that we're talking about. But I have a few kind of, I don't know, concerns about it right now. Let's zoom out a little bit and see where this might go in terms of liquidity. So this is how we can start to target areas as well. So here's our first move, right? Now let's take that, let's do a measured move of that and see where we might go. Here's a beautiful target up here around, well, between 58 and 60 up here. Okay, so now we're looking for more demand in here, and we're getting a bit of a pullback right now. We got to see buyers up here again at this 52. We get our buyers in here. They should be able to break it. We're not seeing many sellers. Sellers are backing away. So we're looking for buyers now to take it higher. Okay. Next level of liquidity is up here at 55, but our measured move is up here between 58 and 60. Okay. Here's our move. This is what we're looking for based off of what we just covered. All right. So yeah, we're still looking for it. Even though we can see that here is exhaustion up here, lack of buying, okay, lack of aggressors. So we might kind of chop around for a little bit, to be honest. All right, so this is how you can start to now read in real time and also put together this into your plan. Maybe up here, consider maybe taking some off because I don't see any demand up here. All right, so maybe you had a good run out of this here. In general, we're still bullish here until we see something different. Okay, our trend is up. Okay, and we're still holding it. All right, and we're going to be looking for some demand on the bid with limit buy orders down below here. Okay, and they are here. They're likely get a break of this trend line. But probably to test right back down to this 51 to 52 area here. We'll see. Okay, this trend line is, well, it's still holding. It's still holding, and we're getting our demand in here. Okay, so we'll got to see a little bit more in here. We just traded up to here. I want to see a retest back up here. This is something Shark Baloo you looked at. We went over your content yesterday, and we're looking for. We saw lots of demand, and then a retest and more demand. That's when we got the break, the nice break. Okay, so that's what we're looking for in here. Retest back up in here, and let's see if we can get it. And we look at the liquidity here on the offer. This is pretty aggressive. It's passive orders, but they're being kind of aggressive in their nature. They are showing limit sell orders below the swing here. Okay. Now we see how they might be getting out of the way here a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of back and forth in here. Okay, so now this 55 liquidity here. Let's see if the buyers take them on and trade into it and through it, and then we can get back up into 58 to 60, 58, 59, and 60. All right, that was a lot really quickly. So let me see if there's any questions here. No, okay. And good morning, everybody. Let's see, D&T, hope you don't mind if it's posting here. No, this is great. I'm not sure if I have the time to look at this at the moment, D&T, and go through it, but it looks good so far. Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on this. Here's our here's the link to the coaching. Thanks, Dan. And we'll put that into the chat for you guys. He's already put it into the chat for you. Anyway, it's recorded here if you're interested. You know, this is where we look at your trades and go through it. Here's yours DNT right here. Good to hear about how things are going for you. That's fantastic. You spent some time on your checklist. You put it together. Here's our move, guys. Here's our demand. Looking for them to continue here. All right. The bid is still pretty strong underneath, so yeah, we do see this high liquidity under the swing though. However, we're still seeing demand, and we're still seeing demand on the bid here. So we're still looking for this to go higher until we see something different. Right now, it broke this initial trend line, is kind of flattened out into another trend line here. This is one of the things I love trend lines, but you know, who's reading what trend line, right, is kind of the question. And what is the reaction off of the trend line is the question as well. All right, so we had our measured move in here. We didn't get the flag pattern we wanted to see as a like big impulse move, chop, and then our pullback, and then big impulse move. It kind of did a couple of impulse moves here. Okay, but it's still doing it, right? The trend line kind of flattened out, right? And this was the move we were looking for. And yeah, so I would be taking some profit up here, maybe we can get more out of it. We'll see. But this was the target. It just hit it here at 60. Now let's take a quick look back though at our higher time frame here. And wow, this is a strong move. Look at this, all-time highs, guys. Yeah, I think this one is similar to our, if you recall our webinar with Axia Futures. Okay, we're breaking out at all-time highs. We're breaking out on volume. So this one is where we consider, I said I'd take some profit here. If I have a runner on right now, I would be holding this. Okay, this is, and give this a shot to run. Okay, and continue for the rest of the day. It wasn't until when that webinar with Axia Futures. Let me try to find it here. I know we have it on our YouTube channel, so we can give reference to this here. Let's see here. Oh no, we've got a playlist for it. I recall, put together. Just a second. There it is. Okay, so you can go to playlists here on our YouTube channel, and then Axia Futures webinar series. So we actually have two in here. We have another one coming up later. It'll be, I believe, in November. So it's a ways off, but there's two in here. One was about talking about their fastest ways to becoming a consistent trader and fastest path here, according to the way that they look at things. And then we talked in this one here precisely about this move right here. Okay, this is in replay mode, but this is the move that we're seeing today. It is very much the same. Okay, we are at all-time highs here, and we're moving our stop up. Okay, so you can see here, and you can practice this here in some of your replay files. That's why we have them. So yeah, anyway, it looks like we're doing that today. Okay, so if you guys are in this and you want to try that, maybe check out this webinar here. I've got the link for it, and here, I'll just put it into the chat for you guys. There you go. And over in YouTube as well. Hold on. Give this to you. Okay, there you go. Okay, so there's the Axia Futures webinar on how to trade with a and move your stop. It's all about stop placement, and one of the scenarios was exactly what we're seeing today at all-time highs. Okay, now we're seeing selling. This was our target, right? And it's doing exactly what we thought up at our target. Is a pullback up here. This is where the demand met the supply. We always look for a bit of a pullback here. Now we just don't know if there's more demand because we're at all-time highs, right? So this is pretty strong directional move here. So we can wait and hold our position here, looking for this to continue. All right. Hope that's helpful. I think it's really good content, you guys. We've got it here in Axia Futures, how they covered it as well, and we're seeing it in the live market right now. And that's what our webinars here at Bookmap are try to do, is go through this for you guys in the live market. All right, there will be pullbacks, no doubt about it. We'll see steep ones. They may come back down and below here, at 52 or 53, somewhere around in here. And it may pull back to this other trend line down here. Okay, so it's not guaranteed that this is going to go straight up all day long. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying, in general, looking for the bigger move, where price might be going, right? Okay, so here's our daily here, and we can add more bars in here as well. Yeah, looking good, and look for this to continue until we see something else. All right. Yeah, if you missed it, Rob, well, you might be able to get some other kind of moves within the move, but it's something different now for you, if you missed it. Okay. Yeah, there's something else I wanted to go through with you guys today, which I thought was just such a good example, such a clear example, and let's do it. And then I also have other news I want to go through with you. So we've got a lot of stuff to go through today. Now this was here in yeah, it was around just after 8 o'clock here, so around 8:07 East Coast time. And this is what I want to show in here. Maybe I need to take off. Yeah, let's just do this. I'm going to go back to, I'm on the Trader Map Lite version here that gets rid of this algo. But we're going to just kind of deselect right now icebergs. Okay, and we'll go back to our Trader Map Lite here and then show this here. Right, so let's go back to our 8 o'clock. All right, so look at this move here. Okay, what's odd about this move? What do you guys think? This is not so odd in here. This is more typical. But what's odd about this move here? From this kind of 58.23 on up to 20.26 or so. So price is moving up. It's not, I'm not trying to trick you or anything like that. But there's something wrong, or it looks wrong in. Yep, exactly, Stephen. We see sellers, but but price is going higher. Okay, so what's going on with that? How do you explain that? How is price moving up on more sell volume? And what do you guys think? I mean, just speculate. No, it's not exhaustion. Hector, exhaustion would be something a little bit different. Okay, and now we see this behavior mostly in stocks, and it's incredible to see in stocks. Something like Apple, I've seen it many times in Apple. Okay, yeah, absolutely, Hector. There's absorption here. Absolutely. There's absorption, but on the bid. Okay, now we don't see that though here. We see absorption here on the offer, here and here, right? Okay, so it still doesn't really look right. Something's wrong in here. Okay, so let's go back here and we're going to turn on stops and icebergs, or at least icebergs. Okay, and we'll go back to our Trader Map Lite version here, and I got to zoom back in again. Okay, look at this iceberg. Okay, this is absorption. Now this iceberg is trying to get on as much size as it can, and look at how aggressive it is working here. And no, an iceberg order is a hidden order from the order book. It's not showing in the order book. However, it is a piece of it. Only a piece of it is sent to the lit book, okay, that you will be able to see, and that's all. So let's suppose we don't. How big is this iceberg, and did it fill completely? I don't even know if I have that. Hold on a minute. I got to go back here. What's up? Okay, there we go. Let's go back. Okay. All right. So now this is pre-market, and there's a few different icebergs in here. Here's one fully executed for almost 3,000 contracts. So this is really telling in here. Okay, and this is really telling about what's happening today. Okay, this is where there's been lots of questions about icebergs and how it can help. This is how you can start to put the pieces together. We're at all-time highs. There's a larger player in here that is absorbing as much as they can, and look at their behavior in here as well. They're extremely aggressive. It's a limit order, or it's a hidden order, and only a piece of that order is sent to the order book, and they're getting on as much size as they can. So there's sellers in here. They're hitting the bid, but it's hitting right into this iceberg that is absorbing as much as it can. There's a few other icebergs here on the other side as well, as you can see on the offer, but they're going to get run over. This larger player in here is moving. See the blue line? It is moving its way up here. It's getting filled. It's getting filled. It is still following. It's getting even more aggressive. It wants to be a buyer at higher levels in here. This is how they are getting their size on. And then this one here was fully executed for 2,984 contracts here. Price went down a few ticks lower, and then another iceberg comes into the market right here. Okay, right. If we zoom in, see it. It's a little too. You can see it hinted here. It says D18. I think maybe you can see that. It's so small that we kind of filtered it out in our iceberg reading. Anyway, another iceberg. It is likely the same player. Look at the behavior. That's why I always speculate on that. And they got filled here for another 1,100 contracts, fully executed. And they're in here again, executed for another 162 at these price levels, at higher price levels. All right, so now we're understanding this larger player behavior, and this is how price is going higher on more sell volume. Okay, it's hitting into these limit orders. They're absorbing. You can see the absorption taking place, the sell orders hitting into these icebergs, which we do not see in the order book. And look how much volume it takes to lift price. Buy volume, and this is what lifts price. It's the buyers. It might be a spread, but then a transaction will have to take place at a higher level for price to move higher. Okay, so that happens a lot in stocks. So very, very little buy volume. Look at the bars down here. Okay, the delta bars down here. There's very little buying in here, yet price is moving higher. Now, this is where the more aggressive buyers come in and start to move it as well. And still, this guy is trailing, trying to get filled as much as he can on the bid. Okay, so and you know, he got filled here. He got what he wanted. That was his full size for his iceberg, and then another full size iceberg here for 162. Right now, this is really apt to talk about this right now, because this is the larger player behavior. This is how they're getting filled. It's just fact. It's a larger player. There's no question about that. No one's using 3,000 contracts, 1,100 contracts, and we're getting insight to an order flow phenomena here from icebergs, why price is going higher on more sell volume. However, why this is so apt is like, you guys are going to love this. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can already register to this. This is a competition that is coming up in 17 days. And go and register. Trading Scary Sizes with the Halloween theme here. And register now. Join the competition. And there's prizes you might win. You can see some pretty nice prizes here. Global Plus for 1 year plus $1,000. MBO subscription as well for that year. It looks like 6 months of Global Plus MBO subscription for that time for second. Then 3 months for third place for the same thing, but Global Plus and MBO. You got all the rules and everything. There's 3 videos in here, and how to register, how to get set up and connected, and then how to set your orders in here. And watch these videos, especially watch this one on setting orders in here, because we went over setting like 100 lots in here, and some of the conditions in this competition it's going to be a little different because we're going to be trading size. And when you're trading like 170 lots or over 100 lots, then you're going to slip the order book, or you're going to sweep the order book. You're going to get slipped when you try to exit on market. There's going to be a lot of interesting things to understand. We're going to have a Pro Trader webinar series on understanding larger player behavior, precisely like this. This is how they're getting filled. This is how they trade in the markets. All right, you may have to trade like this as well. Now you won't have iceberg orders, but it's fictitious. It's in sim, but you'll be getting filled on the bid, and you won't be scaring price away. That's for sure. Anyway, it's going to be pretty scary to see when you put on 100 lot what it looks like in your P&L. All right, so anyway, guys, enjoy. Sign up for that. Here's the link. I'll put it into the chat for you. Dan has already, I'm sure, gotten into it. No, here it is. So sign up there, and let me go over to YouTube. Here you go. Dan is ahead of me. All right. Thanks, Dan. So anyway, this is great practice for you. And like I said, we're going to also have a Pro Trader webinar series the week before the event to gain insight to larger player behavior. That should be really helpful for you as well. Okay. So we've got Scott Pulcini, who used to trade like thousands of contracts. Okay, he's going to talk about that. We've got other traders as well. I've got a hedge fund trader that's also trades thousands of contracts. Used to. He has since left, but or as far as I know, maybe he's back in. In fact, I don't know. But what I'm saying is, here we are looking at the way that we trade, and with looking for insights to this and that. Well, this is what's moving the market, and this is the insight we're going to get from maybe this competition, also this webinar series, and then how we as retail traders, we'll be in their shoes maybe for a little bit in the competition, but then we'll be able to use this newfound knowledge and understanding for our own trading. Okay, when we go back to trading retail size. All right, so anyway, should be a lot of fun. That's the theme. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it, and it's amazing to see, like, you know, what this looks like in terms of size. All right, so now, in fact, let's see here. Maybe we can even put 100 lot on. I've got 20 lots here. We can put 100 lot on. I've got OCOs, and we can look for an opportunity in here. Okay, so I'm looking for a little bit of a pullback. Now, this is another thing. Like, I might miss this, and that's too bad. But you know, we're looking for setting limit orders in here. I mean, you if we put a market buy in here, okay, with the S&P, the S&P is an amazing market, so we will only be slipped a couple of ticks in here. That's pretty amazing with 100 lot, right? But if you trade the NASDAQ or the Russell, you're going to slip it probably a couple of, or sweep the order book multiple ticks against you. So you should be using, or you should consider using at least limit orders. Okay, and I've got another trader who has, you know, hedge fund trader, tremendous experience, and he has talked about larger players. Also, Robert Rother talking about larger players and them getting filled with their on VWAP in relationship to VWAP. Okay, we're looking at trend lines in here, but VWAP is another one. Anchored VWAP, as you guys know, we have that tool. Robert Rother's a big user of that, and starting to understand why traders use this, though. Okay, that's what's important. Why are they using it? So let's go back down here to and we can set some VWAPs in here, maybe down here. This is how they're going to use it. A larger player is they're going to be looking at a VWAP, and I'll let Robert Rother explain it. He's going to do a lot better than me. But I do know this, that they're looking at VWAPs at specific areas. And here, let's just show the regular VWAP here that resets at 9:30. Got that one here. Yeah, 9:30. Okay. And then we'll set another one. I'm going to just right click in here, set an anchor VWAP here, and maybe even here, set another one. Okay, because we can see the pullback in here, and look at the buying that took place. Okay, so our VWAP here is it's just underneath it. You can see this VWAP 1, the red line. Let's put another one in here, this swing. Okay, so maybe we're looking for a pullback into some of these areas. Look at this one here. Okay, so right here around this, right now it's around 54. The question here is not the problem. The question, after the news release, okay, the consumer sentiment report here, this was the swing low. Are larger players averaging into their position based off of this VWAP? That's the question we want to answer. Okay, so we'll see when we come back down to maybe this 54 area here. Right? So we've gone through a lot of stuff in here already. Are there any questions on some of these things? Yeah, I love this TraderMap Lite as well. TraderMap Pro also, I don't have it up at the moment, but the TraderMap Lite is free for everybody. The TraderMap Pro is part of the MBO bundle, but actually you can now get it separately as well. It's up to you. You can also get stops and icebergs separately now, if you like. It's on the Bookmap marketplace. You'll see. All right. Okay, so well, according to the Axia Futures webinar, this is where we'd be moving our stop to. Okay, if we're in this longer term, our stop would probably be below this swing here. Now, there's a problem there. I don't like. I would probably put my stop below this swing here at 53 or so, 52, because of this anchored VWAP. Maybe it spikes into here, and maybe we get our larger players buying off of this VWAP here. Right, so that's a possibility. All right, let's see. What else do I have for you today? Couldn't wait to get to some of these subjects. Okay. Yeah. D&T, yesterday, you brought up some really good points. Well, you started off talking about your new checklist that you put together, and it was nice. You're using the setups checklist indicator here that development put together for us. They put this together so quickly; it was amazing. They're just amazing. They're wizards. And I requested this, and they just said, yeah, sure, okay. And like in a few days, I had it. So they said that's easy. So anyway, you can put together your checklist. You can check off. You can make your own in here, like DNT did. This one's the default one for a flag pattern. And then you can, when you see these things, the criteria for your pattern, you can check them and then grade them. And you're looking for a grade of a total score here of 80 or better to justify the trade here. The average score is, or I'm sorry, 8 or better, right? Yeah. Anyway, we want to take high probability trades. So let's just go through the process here. Yeah, 8 or better. This would, if you got something like this, maybe you didn't get a measured move or whatever it is for your flag. It was poor, but overall looks pretty good. Then look to take the trade. Whatever the case may be here. All right. So let's see what else do we have here. So all right. Bigger picture, we know we're at all-time highs, and we have a strong impulse move starting to flatten out right now. But let's go over some other topics in here. So, trailing our stop, anchored VWAP, larger players. We talked about all these things in here. But let's kind of jump into the order flow in here in more granularity and more detail. And just for the sake of understanding these elements on the chart and liquidity. Okay, so that's why we're going to look at the smaller time frame or lower time frame here. All right. One of the concepts that we talked about is that we see time and again in the order flow, in the transactions, and the price structure is, let's just look at this structure in here. Now we know we're in a big uptrend, and we know this is from here onwards. This is another area where buyers are just in control of all this price action here. They are dominant. You can see they are dominant here. And we do see some selling here and a little bit in here. Okay, but are we seeing a transition from buyers to sellers or sellers to buyers? Not really, not yet. We do see that selling coming in, and look at the relative volume in here in some of these areas. Okay, there's a lot less buyers, so we're still kind of looking, and we're making lower highs in here. Okay, here is a lower high, here is a lower high. We're making equal lows in here and just testing it here as well. Okay, so let's see the sellers try to break that and retest maybe down to this swing here around 58. okay, or this liquidity between 56 and 58. Right now, we would look for a potential rejection though after trading into that level here. Right, so that's what we're leaning on right now by understanding the volume in here and targeting the demand on the bid down in these areas in here. Okay, because we know there's more sellers right now than buyers at the moment. Here's a stop run here. This might turn into one of Slowdown's Bookmap Academy member, one of his classic setups, which is his Wyckoff spring. Okay, after a stop run here, after maybe trading into high liquidity in here, and then resume the uptrend. What we need to see though is the buyers come back in. Okay, and the buyers need to come back in around this 60 level, and we're not seeing it yet. Right, for that. So basically, it's a move or a test below the swing and a rejection. Okay, and then we're looking for buyers to come back in. Okay, we see action here on the offer at lower levels as well. Okay, our VWAP that we drew up after the consumer sentiment is down here around this 55 level. Okay, now we just traded into high liquidity here, right? We have our stop runs. Okay, now we're going to be looking for if those buyers can come in. Okay, so DNT, these areas in here, we're looking at absorption, right? Trading into high liquidity. Now we're looking for, can we get our aggressors to come in to complement this? Okay, because we have buyers here on the bid, we have other traders getting stopped out. Okay, that seems to be driving some of the price action lower. Now we're looking for our buyers here. All right, here they go. Right, so let's give it a shot here. We'll put on our 100 lot. Okay, and let's see if we can get filled here. And I'm going to chase it just for the novelty of this here. All right, we're filled. All right, so we got our 100 lot on. And again, guys, this is in sim, so don't get too excited. But this is going to be like the competition. All right, now we're looking for these buyers to try to take it higher. Okay, so we're looking for them to come back up into these levels up in here. Let's put in a trend line as well. And here's my stop here. Actually, I don't like that. We're going to put it below the VWAP here. All right, and we may consider even adding a little bit more down here as well. I knew I shouldn't have chased it, but anyway, still looking. This is still set up here. It's not over yet, and I'm down. Oh, I don't know, $11,000, $20,000. All right, so this can be very eye-opening here. Okay, maybe they're looking for the bigger move down into 46 down here, or 50 here. Okay, we're just approaching our VWAP here. Okay, and we're still trading through it. We're into it and through it here. And let's see if we get our buyers now. And this is where we're wrong on our decision here. It was below here. Now we're looking for the buyers got to come in. If this is going to be, this was the now let's see, I'm down 31,000. Okay, and we're just about to get stopped out. And so are we going to get a reaction off our VWAP in here? Okay, are the larger players in here after we have some good things here still. All of this liquidity, sellers hitting into it, our VWAP here, and lots of stops being triggered as well. And we're looking to see if we can get our rebound now. One thing I forgot to mention in here is time of day, our time of day that we always look at. We anticipate this kind of pullback move like this around this time of day. Okay, we're getting a reaction off that VWAP in here. Let's see if we can get more aggressors to come in now. Okay, so now let's take a look at this here. In the order flow, all of this limit buy orders in here, okay, that is demand. Okay, now we're looking for, that's the passive demand. Now we're looking for the aggressive demand, right? And that's going to be the market buy orders in here. That's what we're looking for, all right? And for them to take price higher. Okay, we were looking for it in here, and you can see that kind of the same process in here, but all it ended up doing was kind of pulling back here, and the aggressive sellers came in pretty much hand over fist and moved this back down into our VWAP here. All right, so bit of a pullback here, and we're going to see if we get more demand in here again or not. What about our icebergs? Our icebergs here, 323 on the offer though, so that's not helping us. Okay, I'm stopped out, and I had a profit earlier, so I don't know what that was fully, but it's 29,000 in the negative here, and my sim account is down to 97,000 or 970,000. All right, so yeah, pretty big loss there, but we'll enter right back in and give it a shot here. Yeah, I would have done the same thing in here. I'm just looking at it in here. This is the setup, and just this one didn't work. Okay. For those of you interested in this competition, you can start now if you already have Rhythmic or Bookmap data. For those of you who don't have Rhythmic or Bookmap data, it will be our Bookmap data will be available for the competition to everybody. All right, so the day of the competition, Hector, you should be all over this. The whole thing is free. So you'll get CME data for 3 or 4 days, I think. Okay, and you can trade either the ES, the NQ, or the Russell as well. I'm still looking. I'm looking for our aggressors again in here after this move. They're starting to come in. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna shoot again here. I'm gonna go for it. All right. So just be aggressive here. Now I got filled pretty quickly here. But like I said, if you're going to trade the NQ and you do this, you're going to sweep the order book against you. And I'm going to widen this out a little bit as well. I'm going to do the same thing here as I did earlier. And I'm going to move this down below the swing here and the VWAPs down here. And we'll see if we can get more of a runner out of this. This is what I just find amazing. Like, already down like what, a 1.5 or so, and already down like 10 grand. I just can't imagine. I can't wait to have, like, and we've heard Scott Pulcini talk about this many times. But he was trading thousands, not hundreds. He was trading thousands. So each tick was, I think, 5 or 10 grand, something like that. Each tick. All right, any questions so far? Let's see. We're on YouTube. No, nothing. Okay. How about over here in Discord? Rainy days, I believe so. Yeah, I believe. Here, I haven't read through the whole thing, to be honest, but go here. Go to competition.bookmap.com. Okay, I'll put the link in here again for you. And just go there. And you can read about it. Okay, time, duration, instruments trading, and starting capital $1 million. So you're going to be starting off with a millionaire, as a millionaire, yeah, there's just go down a little bit further. How do you sign up? Or instruments? There's the Q&A or FAQs. I'm sorry, here, and you can inform yourself all about it. We'll have more information about it coming out as well. Okay. All right, guys. So now this is looking better to me, and in fact, maybe we can even put on some more size. Let's put on another 20 lot. Okay. Okay, so I got 120 on. Right, and here's my 20 lot up here. And this is what I'm looking for in this transition, sellers to buyers. We have all of that liquidity filled down here. We got stopped out down here, but the same kind of setup is still here, right? And here's our sellers, here's our buyers starting to come in. Now we're looking for more though. We're looking for more buyers now. Okay, and this is where we're looking for our buyers earlier. So maybe a little too early. Okay, we had our reasons though. We had all that liquidity, right? And then we had our VWAP here. So this VWAP, maybe this VWAP kind of screwed me up a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it didn't, because I got in up here, right? This would have been, I would have been in here on the VWAP. Anyway, this is turning into that reversal pattern, and we know we're in a big uptrend. So we came back all the way down to, look where we went, this swing here. And that's where I put my stop. All right. Again, going back to the Axia Futures webinar, moving your stop up on these kinds of days. How do you do that? How do you handle it? Right. Well, this is a good lesson here. And now I'm assuming that price is going to come back up, but we don't know. Maybe this is the high of the day already. But I do see more buyers coming back in. Right? fact, I'm going to move my stop down. Yeah, VWAP here as well. And I'll move my take profit up here at 70. We'll leave this one here in front, or just where it is at the swing here. Okay, the 20 lot. Okay, maybe the transition hasn't quite taken place yet, but we do know this factually. Lots of liquidity here. It did do a return to kind of one of our anchored VWAPs, and we do see some aggressive buying coming back in. And now we need to see if we get more aggressive buying coming back in. This is the place to look right here. Right here on this 55 area where the buyers came in previously. And this one is right off of anchored VWAP, or the one we drew at least. All right, Hector, have a good weekend. We have confidence in you, Bruce. Yeah, it's well, we'll see. I mean, like I have had really horrible luck in these webinars. Actually, last Tuesday with the luck, I was lucky. I had good luck in the webinar, but it's funny. Like I don't know how that it just unfolds like that. Whereas if we take a look here at the trading journal, now my trading journal actually I checked it. It's not connected right now because it's in the I believe because the competition hasn't started, so just kind of testing it right now. But so I don't have any data in this journal, the competition journal at the moment. But if we look back in here, I've been kind of testing trading size in here, and I've had some some pretty nice days, and some days like this, some bigger down days. Like I think this was a $30,000 loss. Oh, more than that. Yeah, that was a big loss. Several losses in here, but still moving its way up here. So anyway, that's another tool we have, and just trying to be consistent with our trading. Still sticking with this here. All-time highs. We had our deep pullback, but we had lots of absorption, and then we're looking for that transition now from this little sell side to buy side and go with the bigger trend. See. No questions? Maybe we can draw a trend line in here. All of these broke, so in fact, let's just clear all of them. Let's redraw them. Okay, so actually this one's holding here. So that looks pretty good so far. and this one would be based off of, again, like the trend line off of the move after the news, just like we did with VWAP. This is another way, you can consider drawing your trend lines as well. I mean, we always draw it off of the swings, but you can draw it off of events, order flow events as well, just like the anchored VWAP. Same idea, so look for that. Now they're very similar in here, so maybe it doesn't really matter. Okay, and we can also look at the events in here. So let's just do that. So here's our sell event in here. The swing is up here, but our sell event is here basically. So this is where we need to. This is the make or break from at least this trend line in here, where these sellers started to come in. If we draw it off of that area here, we need to break this one here. Okay, at 58.5 or 59. Okay, and that's where the battle is. You can see the battle here with the liquidity on the offer here. So do we get enough demand to trade into and through this supply here on the offer is the question. Okay, maybe they'll pull this liquidity in here. We'll see. But at the moment, we are in this wedge pattern. All right. This is the one thing I just really dislike about trading live in front of you guys is we just have to kind of sit and wait now because we're in a position, right? We can't kind of float over to another idea or concept. It's just not as easy. We can, but it's not as easy. All right. So our aggressors are starting to show up a bit. Traded into that liquidity at 59. D&T, okay, showing some pictures here or screenshots of some liquidity and absorption. Yeah, this is excellent. Yeah, I really like the way you're looking at that. Oh, I don't care about trading in front of people and making mistakes. I really don't. It's fine. Years ago, I used to trade with this Australian group, and we would take live positions, and you just get kind of used to it. It is what it is, and you got to do what you got to do. I just don't like being able to cover things after in the position. It's like, okay, here it is, and now we're just kind of sitting and waiting. Whereas like we can look at all sorts of things, interesting things in here, and concepts, ideas, and cover that you can use within your trading plan. That's what we want to do in these live events and these order flow events or live webinars. All right, well, kind of we're seeing price float back up, but yeah, we have some other trend lines in here based off of that selling, right? Well, we broke one, so that's good. That looks pretty good. We got another one up here, and we're kind of running into some resistance here or some supply. That's another thing I want to cover in here is, support and resistance and supply and demand. They are two different things. And it's really important that we've talked about it many times, but just to um, make sure we're using the proper terminology in here and understand that support and resistance is based off of swings. Okay, it's not supply and demand. It's just based off the price action. Supply and demand is in the order flow. And it's the passive and aggressive supply and demand. All right, so the passive is in the heat map here. Okay, this is showing the limit, buy, and sell orders. And then the demand, I'm sorry, the passive with the limit, buy, and sell in the heat map, and the aggressive is the volume dots. And we've talked about it so many times. The magic is between the context of the price structure, the liquidity, and the aggressors, or the volume, transacted volume. See, I know there's some questions coming in here. Yep. Yeah, DNT, one of the things that in your charting that we kind of commented on, it looks like you're using the Trader Map Lite now. So let's just take a quick look here. Yeah, I mean, maybe not in here on the NQ. I don't know if you are or not. I don't see the symbol. But yeah, you got your checklist here, and you're starting to mark up some of these areas in here. And it's kind of funny, like you were saying something yesterday about absorption and looking at areas of absorption. And I was like, well, try to look at the heat map more if you can, like in here, this area right in here. And this is where like we actually were looking for, well, we got in up here, right? In the ES, right up in here. And this is where it traded into, then we stayed with it due to that anchored VWAP. Anyway, the absorption in here looks like you're in your Trader Map Lite version. And I think it can give you a lot more insight, right? And be helpful. What I was going to say though, what I like you're doing is you're looking at the absorption add-on, Market Pulse add-on here. And you can see some of these areas in here that are trading. So you're getting your indication of the passive orders. You're just doing it a little differently. You're not looking at the heat map so much as you are looking at Market Pulse and absorption indicator, okay, which is fine. It's just try to also look at the heat map and understand what's happening. I think you'll just get more out of it. Okay, and then confirm it. Mark it up with your absorption indicator. I don't want to. I mean, I always say this, like when someone has found their trading methodology, stick with it and don't be distracted. So you can discount everything I just said. Continue on with your studies. Just in maybe as a side study in the future, look at and just kind of reference your absorption along with your heat map, your absorption indicator, and your heat. So it's something to consider. Okay, you got that in your checklist number 3. Okay, great. Okay, Alan, you want to go over like checklists? Yeah, we can take a look at some of the checklists in here. Let me see if there's any questions over in YouTube. All right. session flow. You're welcome. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Let's see here. You will not be getting Bookmap data for free until 1 day before the competition. Daily grands, right? So you can practice one day before the competition. I mean, you know, I would recommend that you just try. I mean, if you're really interested and you want to get prepared for the competition, why don't you just, you know, try Bookmap for the month and get data. Just get CME data. It's like $35 or something. Bookmap CME data, and you can also just get you know, global, and you can be up and running, and you can trade in sim. All right, and then you'd be really well prepared for that competition when it rolls around. It's just it's just a consideration, and I think it. If you're worried about time, and just try it for a month. That's what I always recommend that to people. Just get up and running and try it. See if you like it. It's not for everybody, but you can get it up and running, and then be really well versed with the software for the competition. All right, let's see here. Okay, yeah, going over checklists. Okay, we can take a look here. Yeah, we do have a new trade copier that will allow you to trade multiple, take one trade off of one chart, but it would take place in multiple accounts. However, I'm not quite ready to demo it. Well, I can't demo it at the moment in this competition setting. I believe. Maybe I could if I connect to Rhythmic. Yeah, I think I could if I connect to Rhythmic. Anyway, let's go over the checklist, Alan. All right, so from configure add-ons up here, if you guys don't see it in your list here, you can add it. It's free, or is included all in here. Just go to your add-ons manager and scroll all the way down, and you should see it for available for install if you haven't installed it. Okay, once it's installed, check it, pops up, and now we have options in here. Okay, so let's go. We'll write out a simple strategy, and this is the default one, which matches. I'll show you from our. We go here to bookmap.com, and you go to education, setups and strategies course. It matches the flag pattern setup in here. Okay, so you know this checklist that we put together here is the same here. All right. Now go to settings here. You can modify this, and you can save it or export it, etc., and then import it. Let's modify this one. It opens up my notepad here, CSV notepad, okay? And then we'll put in a simple pattern or setup in here. Okay, so let's just call this a pullback setup. Okay, let's see. Someone, I think it was Slowdown, or somebody had a really good idea of putting in numbers for it, so then you can number your chart as well. I like that idea. All right, so number one, let's look at we're looking at impulse move. Okay, strong impulse move followed by high liquidity that trades into high liquidity. And then we're looking at number 3, low volume pullback. And then we're looking for either exhaustion, you can say exhaustion or absorption. And then we're looking at number 5, aggressors enter. Okay, and then entry. Stop below the swing. And then you can even say like take profit. On measured move or high liquidity. Okay. All right, let me copy this here because I don't know if this is going to save it as a CSV or not. Let's see here. Save as. No, it doesn't. All right, that's where I kept on running into problems here. So I just copied it, and then I'm going to enter. I'm going to open up WordPad. Okay, and then we're going to paste it in there, and then we are going to do a save as. And we're going to CSV. Come on. Can't I do? All right, we got to do something different. All right, hold on. All right, so we copied it. And I believe I could probably just save this as a CS or just put a .csv on it, but just to make sure, I'll make sure we get this one in here, Alan. So I'll open up Excel, right. You can open up Google Sheets as well, and we're going to do a save as. Okay, and we're going to save as this PC and our setups checklist. Okay. CSV. This is going to be called a pullback strategy. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so back and let's import, not downloads. It's PC here, Bookmap folder. Let's see, it was under add-ons, I believe. And our setups checklist and our pullback strategy. And there it is. Okay. There you go. So that's how you do it, Alan. And now you can come in here and grade these, select them off as you're hitting your checklist, etc. All right. That should be helpful. I'll keep it open on another monitor here, and we'll look to see what we get. Maybe we can look for this to unfold here. All right, guys, let's see here. We're at our break even here, or average position here from that position that we took. That's where we are right now, and just kind of chopping around in this kind of big, sloshing around in this big volume profile here. Okay, so all-time highs, but we're looking for those buyers to swing in. They came up to this trend line and they just never broke it. See how it held in here? And we're looking for our buyers to try to break it. We never got it. And this is what happens. Now, again, look, I'm gonna hold this one for a bit longer. However, this is telling us something here. We have high liquidity on the offer. We have a trend line. This is where the sellers came in, and we're also making that trend line off of an anchored VWAP idea as well. And in fact, we can even put maybe another anchored VWAP here. See what we get. Yeah, it's down here. Anyway, so we have a trend line, we have high liquidity, we do have our aggressors here. On the buy side, we've got a pretty deep pullback in here. This trend line held, and we see the break of it back down to our anchored VWAP from that data at 10 a.m. the consumer sentiment. Okay, we're still in it, and looking for this to let's see if we get our aggressors now. And right now, this is where we're looking for our transition. We look for our transition of buyers and sellers on the lower time frame. Got it. Okay, sellers, buyers. Okay, more buyers. Boom. All right. And then we're going to look at maybe a bigger transition. Sellers, buyers. Let's see if we get more buyers to come back in. Okay, so it's a fractal of what we're looking for here, and we'll see. Right? I mean, we can see that this is looking actually pretty poised to trade into all of this liquidity and retest the figure down here at 58.50. And then maybe it's this VWAP in here that we're looking for. It's starting to line up with some other areas in here. Well, it's the figure as well. It's 58.50 area here. High liquidity, trade through, etc. Anyway, guys, that's everything I got. There was a lot. Sign up for that competition. It should be a lot of fun. Yeah, you get to trade some. You get $1 million to trade some size here, and see what it looks like, and go through and understand larger player behavior, just like we did earlier here with this really interesting order flow with the icebergs and them getting filled. And very aggressive here with their iceberg order getting filled before. It's kind of funny, before the news, both 8:30 news with the PPI as well as the 10 o'clock news. But this in here has actually, look at this. I mean, it's amazing. This has dominated the day. Okay? There's no question about it. Well, there's no question that it has not traded below that area here, around this 58.22, and that's where this larger player got in. Okay, 4,000, almost 5,000. I'm sorry, 4,200, almost 4,300 icebergs in this little area right in here. It has dominated the price action. Okay, we even see more up here, icebergs. I don't see a lot of selling icebergs yet. Still see more buying. Anyway, guys, I'll leave you with that. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for all the great work in the Bookmap Academy. Hope you found it helpful. So it's really a pleasure to partake in that Bookmap Academy on Thursdays. Yeah, try the Excel, not the WordPad, whatever it is. Alan, it just it needs to be saved as a CSV file. That's the key. You can do it through Notepad for sure. I don't know how to do it, but anyway, take a look, and it should be pretty simple and easy. I had to go to Excel because I'm no expert. Anyway, thanks everybody. Have a over on YouTube. We usually, to be honest, over on YouTube we cut these a little short, and want to go over more exclusive content with our traders in Discord. Since we're doing these live in here, we went longer in here with you guys and kept you in the loop here. But if you want to partake in the Bookmap Academy, you come over to our Discord channel in here, and here's the All Markets webinar here. But you'll see the Bookmap Academy in here, and we have a pretty robust. Look at all the great content people are putting in here every day. So you can learn a lot of the same things that we're covering in this webinar, and you can talk to. I mean, like here, we have Steven, we have Rob, DNT. Other guys, new guy here, the Punisher, John 412 is also a new guy. Vinny V, Dune Runner, a whole slew of you guys. Alois is he's a moderator over at Bookmap. So thank you for all your great work, guys, and have a good rest of the day trading and good weekend. We'll catch up with you on Monday. All right? Yeah, it's Columbus Day, but it is not a holiday for the markets. Okay, so we'll see you then. Please give us a like, a thumbs up. That helps over on YouTube, and we'll see you on Monday. All right, take care.